I can't get over that.
That is not on. This is not an episode of the X-Files.
It was the best I could find at short notice. I will say one thing, it's cheered me right up your reaction, JD, so thank you. So hello and welcome to the pre-match build-up here on the Rangers Rabble. Hello, welcome everybody. Again, I will reiterate that is an intro music that will be changed as soon as possible. I'm trying my best to get it looked at. As most people who watched the last show will know, the music that we were using has suddenly became subject to copyright, so I've had to change it. I know, absolute nonsense. So yeah, hello, welcome everybody. Hello, welcome everybody in the comments. We're back on Facebook. We're of course on YouTube, and we are live as well on Twitter. So if you're watching on YouTube, give us a wee like and a wee subscribe. If you're watching on Facebook, well, you should be following anyway, but if you're not, give us a wee follow. And of course on Twitter, give us a follow, a retweet, and get your comments in as well. JD, how you doing?
I'm good, yeah. Yes, looking forward to the game.
Are you looking forward to the games too?
I am actually, yeah. I've actually nerves have just started sitting in a little bit, which I'm going to take as a good sign.
There's plenty we could talk about, right? But I want to jump straight in, JD, to the starting lineup.
Yeah.
McGregor, Tav, Davies. McGregor, Tav, Davies, Goldson, Barisic is the back five. Jack Lundstrom and Arfield as a midfield three, and Sakala, Kent, and Colak. What do you think?
I don't want to go in. I think it's probably what we expected. The defence, of course, McGregor. I probably thought Kamara would get. But he's not even on the bench. Must be an injury. Arfield is the one that could have been a mixture of anybody that played. Tillman, Davis, Kamara. Folk muted Morelos for it. Sakala 100% had to play. Colak 100% had to play. I know people are out there saying, no, but these are Morelos' nights. It's Colak's got to play. The Kent one I see is a bit contentious in the comments. Ryan Kent was always going to start. Matondo didn't work the other day. He get took off after 60 or 65. So Kent almost like gets another go at it, but we need to see something for him. So that's probably the only one.
Is Kamara injured? I've not seen it anywhere that Kamara's injured. Is there anybody in the comments that could let us know of? I literally got in the house at 20 to 7, I think, been at work all day, so I haven't seen any press conferences or anything like that. But Stu, have we heard anything about Kamara?
I haven't seen anything. The only thing I've seen is a few people saying that he might be dropped for his form, which is baffling if you think about it, because surely we wouldn't have Goldson or Kent or anyone else in that team. They'd all be dropped out of the team as well. It just seems to be Kamara that drops in and out. But Gio said he's injured. So thankfully, or not thankfully for him, he's injured, but thankfully he's injured, because I thought he could have played a part tonight, in all honesty. He does show up for these big European games, and he has been a bit off it, but a lot of the team have at times. So I think he'd be a miss, but we go with what we got.
Well, there you go, Davey. I didn't see the press conference yesterday, but yeah, GVB said he's injured. Mel, would they tell us anyway? 9 times out of 10, no, but he has. So,
lie, Mel. He won.
Stu, your thoughts on the starting lineup?
A bit like JD, to be honest. It's much what I expected. I think it was always going to be Colak up top. I think he maybe is trying to learn from a mistake of going Morelos at Anfield. Glad to see Jack and Lundstrom in there. Arfield, again, the only one for me is Arfield, really. I thought maybe we'd see something else. But then when you look at who else we got without a change in formation, Tillman has been a bit off of it, especially in the European games. He hasn't looked that good. So, yeah, maybe Matondo would have had a shout, but I just think he's only really got one bite of the apple in terms of the build up to this game. So it's probably not enough to, we know what Kent, even if Kent doesn't produce it, we know what he can do. And I think that's pretty much the reason he's going to be back in tonight.
Martin, I would have loved to have seen if Matondo done a Sakala on Saturday, what would Van Bronckhorst have done? Now, we don't have that, but what would he have done? Because the fans would have been screaming for Matondo to stay in. Which some of us still are a bit like, well, Kent just comes right back in. But it'd been interesting if Matondo had as good a game as Sakala. I think Sakala almost set the bar of what we'd probably expect for someone to come off out of nowhere and start.
Sorry, a comment just caught my eye there. We'll come back to the starting lineup in a minute. Rosemary Blair, I think they should do better tonight. Liverpool are not exactly playing well. JD, can we be drawn into that false sense of security almost because of Liverpool not playing well? And by the way, I heard, what's his name? That knob that supports Man U on TalkSport. Is it Goldstein on the way home?
Goldbridge.
No, it wasn't
Andy Goldstein.
Andy Goldstein. That's the one on the way home saying that if Liverpool draw tonight, it's embarrassing, etc., etc. So we know what the English think. But in saying that, JD, we need to be careful because this, regardless of how this Liverpool team are playing, in every single position, they've got a player who costs X amount more than ours. They play against better players every week. If we're being brutally honest, Liverpool are a much better team than us. So even a weakened Liverpool team is still going to be a difficult challenge.
Massive. I think they shouldn't write you off though, but I think they will because of our performance at Anfield. I think even they were shocked at how much we rolled over and we got our bellies tickled. So I think that's why they're coming into this 100% expecting to win. I think they understand Ibrox and they're a bit more nervous about that part of it because they're saying, we create an atmosphere at Liverpool, so we know what you're talking about. No, you don't. You don't. Anfield's nowhere, no comparison to Ibrox on a European night. Yeah, when a big goal scored like Gerrard's against Olympiacos and they all went mental, amazing. But for kick-off and for all that kind of stuff, it's leagues ahead. So to even say some of their players will be used to it or will know what to expect, well, no, because 75% of your games you're playing in Bournemouth and Brighton and stuff like that, you don't know what you're going to expect. Your bigger players have froze and been staring and went like that, wow. So that's the only thing. But are we expecting it? I don't know, man. I still think we can get a draw tonight. I think we can. But Liverpool not playing too well is still problematic for us. I think they're a great side.
What, Stu, they are a great side. But what's the point in being in Europe if you don't go and try and win? Or you don't even think, look, we can maybe try and do something here? You know what I mean? What's the point in putting all that hard work in to get back into the Champions League? Every time you get into the Champions League as a team, you go, well, we're here. Make up the numbers.
Yeah, I mean, I've been one of Gia's critics about like sort of the lack of attacking intent he lines up in these games. But I think at the same time, at home, we definitely have to. We have to go for it against these teams at home because we proved in the Europa League, obviously not the same standard, but Leipzig are doing all right in the Champions League this year, as are Frankfurt. So we proved that we can go toe-to-toe with these teams, especially at home. Away, I can understand it a little bit because people say, I'd rather lose going for it. But if you got beat 8-9-0, people wouldn't be happy with that, would they? And that's what can happen against world-class teams. So it is a balancing act. But I think at home with the Ibrox, especially what we saw last season with how fearful the other teams become, they just went right in their shells at Ibrox, especially if you start strong as well. If you go out, if you can get an early goal, the place just erupts and teams can't handle it. So I think the fans are going to play a massive, massive part tonight. And we just got to hope that the lads turn up as well and sort of pay back some of that support that the fans have given them over the past 24, 36 months.
Can I just actually take a quick minute, JD, to give a shout out to the Rangers under-19s who were extremely, extremely unlucky today. They were defeated 4-3 at Firhill. But, they're coming up against, again, what you would say is a higher level of opponent. But they put on a show.
If I speak, I'll get into trouble.
Okay.
I thought some of the defending was horrendous.
I didn't see the game because I was at work. I just seen the result.
They're foaming at the mouth for the boy that went from Celtic to Liverpool. Doak scored a nice goal. Our defending was dreadful. That's the only goal I've seen, so that's why I'm being pure negative. But yeah, listen, our young boys up. The Rangers youth is well known, but we've seen a couple of comments about Leon King during the week, which we don't want to see. But if you want to cross our palm with 15-20 million, then we will go there. And that's just the way it is. But yeah, the young teams, the boys, they do well and they put up a great fight. But I don't want a 4-3 tonight. I want a wee draw at least.
I know you were on Red Men TV, weren't you, JD?
Redneck TV.
How did that go anyway? I meant to ask because obviously it was on. I think it was on their membership thing, so nobody could see it. What's the thoughts of them? How are they feeling? Quite confident, I take it.
Martin, listen, it's only paying members when I'm about. That's the thing. They were. As I just said earlier, they were surprised at how much we didn't have a go and how easy it was for them. They were disappointed they only beat us 2-0. So they're coming up here. He mentioned Ibrox, you can tell, but they're coming up here and they're looking ahead. They think it's a foregone conclusion. So it'll be interesting. I did give us a good plug, so I don't know if anybody for their side are watching, but I'd said we were on before, during and after. If they didn't want to listen to Rio Ferdinand at half-time, come and listen to us. We're very balanced opinions.
Yes. Well, yes. I mean, most of the time we're balanced, I would say. Not all the time, most of the time. Stu, you mentioned that JD's mentioned that the guys at Redmen TV have mentioned that the atmosphere. We talk about that all the time. We've seen how it has affected teams in Europe, especially now Europa League run. Will it be a big difference tonight coming up against an experienced Liverpool team? Will it make that much of a difference?
I think it still make a difference. I think you can still get that few extra % out of it, which makes it worthwhile. I think any team coming up here, it doesn't matter who they are. We saw that great team in the the late 90s, early 2000s of Palmer come up and Buffon, the famous picture of him sitting by the post, and he said after that he couldn't believe the atmosphere then. They're world class players and they feel it just as much as anyone else. They'll be a bit more experienced because they've gone to some of the best teams and biggest teams in the world, of course, but it can still make the difference I think that we need. Obviously, everything has to go right for us tonight. We need things to fall into place for us. We're not going to turn up and just beat them on skill alone because they're obviously a better team than we are. But yeah, I think just seeing what that crowd did for us last season, I've got no doubts that it can do something similar this season and this competition.
I suppose the atmosphere as well, JD. I haven't even done it yet, and I should have. And I apologise to everybody for being extremely unprofessional tonight. But it is going to be a much changed Liverpool team, JD. So could the atmosphere again help on top of that if it's maybe players that aren't playing every week?
I think if it's a big change, if it's an all changed Liverpool team, then it depends what kind of change is it. Does he change his front three and bring in Firmino and that's not changes. If they brought, I've not seen the Liverpool team. If they brought,
want me to tell you the Liverpool team right now?
That would be fantastic, Martin.
Right. The Liverpool team is Alisson in goal, Gomez, Kanate, Van Dijk, and Chimikas, Fabinho, Henderson, and Harvey Elliott, Carvalho, Firmino, and Nunes. So no Salah.
No Salah, which I'll take that. But
no Jota.
No Thiago either.
Listen, that's a first team. Is Henderson playing?
Yeah, Henderson's playing. Yeah.
Yes.
Thiago. The bench is Adrian, Kelleher, Thiago, Milner, Salah, Jota, Robertson. Andy Robertson's in the bench. Bajetic and Phillips. So
nailed that one, mate.
I think I got that one, didn't I?
But the only one he did get, he certainly didn't get Tsimikas.
I did.
Chimikas.
I said Tsimikas.
You said Chimikas.
You said Chimikas.
Oh, you know what I meant. Listen, I'm a Rangers fan. I'm a Liverpool fan. But JD, so that team, Alisson, Gomez, Kanate, Van Dijk, Tsimikas, Fabinho, Henderson, Elliott, Carvalho, Firmino, and Nunes. Does that strike fear into you?
It does, because there's none of those players that wouldn't be our star men. And the Gomez in for Trent. Gomez is a great player. Kanate's in for Matip. I don't know if that was an injury, but Kanate started some of the games at the start of the season.
Big bit of boy as well.
Harvey Elliott's up and coming, and then the Carvalho boy, we seen him last season with Fulham. He was a player.
Yeah,
so they look dangerous. Are you worried that some of the young Harvey Elliott, precocious talent, they don't really care? They don't. It's a bit like the Alex Lowry thing with that Harvey Elliott. They don't care. So he might not. We think it might affect them. Might not. They don't really care about stuff like that because they're so. That's what they've been made for. They're actually produced little footballing robots to beat in these moments. So, it's the teams.
The one thing I would say, JD, that I'll come straight back to you, that for me, this says it all as well, right? So up front, Liverpool have obviously got Carvalho, Firmino, and Nunes, right? Firmino, I think, as everybody knows, is a top quality striker. Nunes, they've just spent, I think it was 85 million, right? But see if that's not going right, see if that's not going well for them, they can bring on Thiago, Salah and Jota.
I know, it's madness.
That's what you've got to remember. That quality.
The Nunes one's dangerous for me because his movement is unreal. Dangerous, his movement. No, he didn't score last week, but the way he runs off players and stuff like that, I think he's probably the most dangerous one out of them all there. Firmino's a great footballer, but I don't know. I can't say anything about their team, to be honest, Martin. It's a top side. Is it the midfield maybe is where we want to try and win that back? Is that where we go for it? The midfield?
Well, I tell you what, I don't watch a lot of English football, Stu. I think you do, if I remember correctly.
A little bit.
Right. Over the years, Jordan Henderson has been obviously the mainstay for Liverpool in that midfield. I think he's even the captain. I've always looked at Henderson and thought, I don't get it. I don't get what the big thing about Henderson is. But then, what do I know about football? What does Jordan Henderson bring to that Liverpool team? And is he this top quality player that I just can't see?
I don't think Jordan Henderson's by any means in the world class sort of bracket, but I think at his top, obviously he's getting on a bit now, and I think he's there for the experience and everything else they use him for now. But I think before, at his best, he was quality, and he can ping a pass around, and he will get involved, and I think he himself can bring that team up 5% as well. Like he doesn't shut, he's in for every challenge, moaning at the ref, and I know it's one of these guys I think where you just hate to play against him, but you love him when he's on your team. I think a lot of people underrate Jordan Henderson. They always have over his career. But you don't become a mainstay in the Liverpool team for years on end if you're not top quality. It just doesn't happen, especially this Liverpool team that have gone on to win the title and reached a couple of Champions League finals. So the only thing I'm looking at with that team is I don't really know what formation they're playing because Elliott, Firmino, Nunes, Carvalho, all the... It looks
4-2-2-2.
Yeah, this is the thing. So BBC have got it lined up as 4-3-3. I don't think that's a 4-3-3. I can't see Firmino or Nunes playing as one of the inside forwards. So I don't know if they're going 4-2-4 or 4-2-2-2, like you said. I don't really know what they're lining up as, but it looks like Fabinho and Henderson in midfield. So maybe that is the battle we try and win in there, because I don't think Elliott will sit in with that midfield, and he can go forward as players at 10, but I can't see a front three of Firmino, Nunes. I might be wrong, but Firmino, Nunes, and Carvalho.
Sure? I don't know. I think Nunes could play out wide. I think Nunes could play out wide and come inside from the right-hand side. That's where he made all his runs last week, spinning out and down. Firmino's going through the middle, isn't he? He's going through the middle.
Yeah.
100%.
But I think last week also they did play over sort of four up top, and one of them would just peel off and sort of take up that free space all the time. And they even mentioned that Klopp changed the tactics away from that 4-3-3 last week. So I don't know if he's sticking with it this week or what. We'll find out when they go out. But yeah, it looks a bit strange to me.
Well, the question is, Stu, then, look, Jack Lundstram and Arfield, is that a midfield that can compete?
It can compete. Yeah, it's whether or not it can create chances for Colak after competing, I'm not sure. But they'll certainly be in there for the battle, won't they? And yeah, like I say, if it's those three mainly together on top of Henderson and Fabinho, then it could work out well for us. I don't know too much about the Elliott boy. I know he's decent, but I've not really seen too much of him. He sort of flits in and out of that team. I don't know, it's tough. We need Arfield on it because the last two games he started, he's been really below par, and just doing really un-Arfield like things. Is the one time he did arrive late in the box, instead of passing it, he just shoots off target with the whole goal in front of him. We need Arfield at his very best. We need this sort of impact sub version of Arfield, but from the start. But he gives you energy. Jack gives you that sort of energy and bite, as does Lundstram. So I think he knows it's going to be a battle in the midfield, and hopefully we come out on top of that one.
Well, what I would ask JD is, if not Arfield, who else in that Rangers team right now is playing well enough to come in?
I know that's a problem. I don't think.
Because you would think what
I thought Kamara would have come in. That's what I thought would have come tonight.
Yeah, or even 2 months ago, you'd have probably had Tillman in there, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think the problem with Tillman is he's proven that Rangers. You'd have thought the Champions League would be suited to Tillman because teams, but for us, we've sat back so much that we need people to run and work their socks off. If this was maybe last year, he would have played in the position perhaps Aribo played or something like that, and shone and done really well, but he's not. We need workers tonight, and that's I think why Arfield's getting the nod, although I don't think he's firing all cylinders. But if you think about what Stu's nailed it there, the three people, can they win a battle in midfield? Aye, they can. Even against these three, of course they can. that's not enough to win a game, is it? Really, I don't know. Are they going to create chances? I don't know.
Well, how important, JD, is Ryan Jack coming back into form?
I think he's, touch wood, injury free. You know how good a player he is. I think we were all frustrated with him at the end of last season, start of this season, talk about him nowhere in the jersey again, or leaving or whatever. He's proven that everybody plays better when Ryan Jack plays. You see it for the national team and all, but for us as well, Lundstrom looks better. When he plays, he just makes everything. He's a great footballer as well. Passing range, in tight spaces, his positional sense. So massive that he plays tonight. Massive. If he has a big game tonight, like a big game, we could get something out of this.
So how do we see it then, Stu? Do we see it just being a flat free Jack Lundstrom in Arfield, or do you see Arfield just sitting in front?
I think the plan is to sit him in front, but I think at times we're going to need that flat free. I think we're just going to have to sort of go with the flow of the game, to be honest. We're going to have to see how Liverpool start as well, because I don't think their confidence, despite obviously beating us, I don't think their confidence is very high. They've just lost to Arsenal. They've got to go to City after this, which, you know, the way City play, that could be any score. I mean, Liverpool could turn out and win, but it also could be 5-0 City. You don't know. So I think they're going to have one eye on that, which is good for us. It's going to be difficult to see how we're going to play until the teams get on the pitch, and you know, if Liverpool start getting on the ball early, then I imagine Arfield's going to drop into a flat three. But as long as we get the ball and we attack and we're aggressive, I think he needs to be up in that 10 role as much as possible, making those late runs. Obviously, Colak, we haven't really touched on Colak yet, but he's going to have a big job today, because we talked about putting him in for his one chance, one goal sort of instinct finishing that he has. But at the same time, he's going to need to be there to put on the plate for other players like Arfield who make those late runs. He's going to need to be fed from players like Colak. So the front and obviously Kent and Scunner, but these guys have all got big jobs to do, because we won't get many chances, so we've got to make sure that the ones we do, we basically stick in the back of the net.
I think it's important, JD, that we obviously it's important that we discuss Colak, but before we discuss Colak, if he's got any chance, it's going to come down to Kent and Sakala. Sakala, quite rightly for you, picked tonight.
I think so. I think him running at MD in the SPL could cause problems if he seems to be a wee bit, I don't know why I say this, maybe a wee bit, he's worked on some stuff during the summer, his touch, just everything all round general footballing sense, but it could come from Sakala. My problem is, like, Tsimikas is a bullish, fast, he loves this part of the game, so that's annoying. But no, regardless who we play, from a Liverpool side, they're going to compete. So I just want the big man to get a chance. Like, he can score. He's just, let's talk about him. He's unbelievable. If he just gets a couple of chances, man, that's all we need. And I know he had a chance when he came on. When we say one chance, we don't mean one chance, right? It's not as easy as that. But yeah, meaning that he gets a good chance, a right-sided goal, he should take it. However, it's like last week, though, you watch, like, there were great players. We're just watching people run past them, and Steve Davis was just getting ball passed about him. It's different when you go to that level. It's the intensity, the speed, just even the pressure of it all can just make people just slow down a wee bit. And that's what we kind of get caught out last week, I think, individual performance-wise. So I'm expecting a lot better this night.
Well, I don't know if this is the right thing to say or not, Stu, but the result last week, the performance last week, the experience last week, that can only help for tonight then, could it not?
Yeah, I think all three games can help for tonight, to be honest. This level on a consistent basis is going to make you better. Obviously, we only get, you know, including qualifiers, sort of 6, 8, 10 games at this level. But it's a level that we don't usually play at. And it's hard. It must be hard for these players to go from, you know, Liverpool, Ajax, Napoli, and then you're playing, no disrespect, but you're playing Ross County, St Mirren, and teams like these. It's not the same level. And it's not the same game.
Don't ever say no disrespect. Disrespect these teams as much.
Real disrespect to those shit teams, Ross County and St Mirren. But yeah, no, it's when you're going up against two banks of 5 at times, it's a completely different game to then you have to start opening up and teams are coming on to you. And we obviously get it a bit with the other lot, but it's still not the same level that you get in the Champions League. But it's absolutely, we will benefit from playing at this level, and even from week to week we will benefit from that. I think you see it. I don't want to like quote Gio here because I'll actually moan at him for saying it, but we are seeing incremental improvements in the Champions League. Obviously, the away game against Liverpool was a bit difficult because we were on the back foot for so much of it. But we competed for about 45 minutes against Napoli really well. That was at home, and Napoli are absolutely storming this group at the moment.
Yeah.
We know how dangerous team that is, and we had chances against Napoli, so we can create chances against anyone. We just need to make sure we take them. But absolutely agree. Liverpool, Napoli, Ajax, these teams make us better even week to week. So the players should relish it, really.
Napoli, man. Napoli are just scary.
Yeah. We're talking about incremental gains, Martin. We might not be saying that once. Let's get Napoli away first.
I know, Jesus. And ironically, the game that we've probably played our best in is against Napoli. And I mean, they destroyed Liverpool and Ajax. And as far as I'm aware, they're destroying Ajax again tonight. Normally, JD, our subscribers, members, people in the comments know how to spell. Usually. But Mel, nothing to lose tonight. I think she means nothing to lose tonight. But JD, is that right? Because look, we can laugh at you know who across the road. Somebody getting feedback? Oh, it might be JD. We can laugh at you know who across the road for getting a bit ahead of themselves and saying we're going to do this, we're going to do that. We don't have a point yet, and we haven't scored a goal. So, is there something to lose? Do we need to do something?
Yeah, of course. They asked me that on that Liverpool on the Redmen TV, saying, "Is it a free hit for you?" And I said, "Well, no, it's not really a free hit because if we get a point tonight and Napoli beat Ajax, you're expecting Napoli to beat us and Liverpool to beat Ajax. So then it comes a one-half game at Ibrox, the winner takes all to get into the Europa. So I don't think it's a free hit. Like it doesn't matter what the score is because one, we've not won a game." We've not drew a game and we've not scored a goal. So for Glasgow Rangers, that's not good enough. I don't care what MD says after the back of the last game. They all came out, it's Liverpool, we should 2-0. I don't understand the fans' problems because we don't like to be beaten. And that's the way it is. We've waited since 2012 to get here, 10 years. Now we're back in it, we're rolling over and get our bellies rubbed, which I don't like. So it isn't really a free. I know some folk will say it is, but actually now the way the group looks, we're still in this if we get a point tonight. If we get a win, it's unbelievable. But if we get a point tonight, we're still in this group. And the Europa League is a fucking option for us. We started slow last year in the Europa. We've started slow in the Champions League. Can we get a point tonight and beat Ajax? Might be enough to get us into Europa.
Well, look, it's 3-2 now. Apparently, Ajax have pulled 2 goals back. So it's 3-2. So we'll need to wait and see what happens there. But Stu, look, JD makes a point. We haven't scored a goal. And we don't have any points. We're sitting bottom in the group. What you don't want to happen is, and regardless of how good these teams are, you don't want to finish this Champions League group with 0 points.
No, and without being negative, it was something I thought might be a possibility when the groups were drawn. I tried to mask it behind a positive. We'll get 7 points in there. But the fear really is you're playing top quality. So and 3, Napoli were 3rd seeds in this. Liverpool was 2nd seed. So you'll get Liverpool Champions League finalists, and they were seeded 2nd. Obviously, the way the draw works with the league position, the nation. So every top nation gets 1 each in the top seed, along with the winners and the Europa League winners. So it pushes some of the better teams into the second pot, which we obviously got. I think, to be honest, only the Bayern Munich group was probably worse than the one we got, and not by much either, not by very much. So it was a possibility at all times. At the same time, we have created chance in this. We thought we scored against Ajax, so that sort of screamer from Barisic that got disallowed. We had a couple of chances against Liverpool, despite the sort of battering we took. Alisson had that save, which Tsimikas then somehow managed to clear off the line, which he then did again the following week against Arsenal as well. So it must be his thing. And Napoli, we missed a couple of good chances. So there was. The chances are there. I think that's the positive to take from it all, because it's not like we haven't even had a sight of goal and we're going to finish bottom, no goals, or maybe we get soft one. I think we've got enough about us to create chances, and we've proved that we can do that. So I don't know. It's so tough because you could easily finish bottom of this group with no points and play well. Not that we've done that, but you can do that because that's how good these teams are. So, but tonight, it's just about going out and making sure that when we get those chances, everything in the past is gone now. It's all about tonight. We don't think about that we've played 3 games. We're playing Liverpool tonight. That's all that matters. And we go out and we get the point, or better, we get the 3.
I know we're also not a fan base who think you get a trophy for playing okay and creating some chances. We leave that up to other fan bases. JD, on Colak again, look, you're 100% right. It was 100% the correct option to start him tonight. I think, Ross has made his point clear about where he stands on Colak and Morelos. We tried Morelos at Anfield. It did not work. Colak can do more than just score. We've seen him link up the play, but that moves it on to another point, and that's Ryan Kent. Ryan Kent has not been performing for some time now. I can't actually remember. Maybe you can help me. I can't actually think back to, by the way, Ryan Kent was really good that game. And he's playing against the team he came from. This is a big night for him.
As we said this last week, mate. We said it was probably even bigger last week, considering he was going back to Anfield and stuff. Just on the Colak thing, listen, I'm aboard the train now. However, I don't think it would have mattered who played last week. See, if Colak had played last week, we'd all be sitting here screaming for Morelos today, and that would have been it. But Ryan Kent, we've got to get a performance. It's getting to the stage where, at what point do we, or does the club or the coaches and Gio say, right, we can't keep saying this. We need a performance. The dropping against St Mirren was just a little token gesture. I guarantee he said to him, I need you fit and firing for Tuesday, so on Wednesday, I'm going to take you out to rest. 30 minutes, get your legs warmed up, 30 minutes to go. That's not, you're terrible, you're sitting out. Like a Walter Smith would have done with some players. So, of course, we definitely need, and Aaron, you're right, he was fanboying over Salah at the end of the game. He was Jake on. It was pathetic, to be honest, but running on, being subbed off, I'd be right up the tunnel, nearly greeting, and he's running on, looking at Salah, all gooey eyed. So, big performance for him. Osimhen must have scored. That must be 4-2 Napoli.
4-2 to Napoli. Yep, 4-2 to Napoli. Which is good for us. Stu, the back 4. We'll come to McGregor in a wee second. The back 4 looking a wee bit stronger, a wee bit more cohesive since Davies came in.
Yeah, definitely. I think I can't remember what pod it was. I can't even remember who was on it, but one of the podders made a great point. So sorry, it might have even been JD. But just having that left-sided centre-back that is left-footed has just added a real balance to the team. There you go. Is JD's going to claim it? He's going to claim it, even if it wasn't. Yeah, I think it was Ross actually. Come to it. Is being a left-sided centre-back, he makes all different. And I think that showed with Helander as well. Goldson played better with Helander, and I don't think it's a coincidence that they're both left-footed. They're both obviously good defenders, which helps. But yeah, I just think it puts confidence through the whole team. Barisic can receive balls a bit easier from him. He can, it's easier to turn and pass back to the guy that's the same foot. And that's not everything, but he's clearly a very good defender, and he's shown up really well. He wins his battles in the air, he wins his battles on the floor. I'm quite excited to see how he goes on from this, to be honest. These games, obviously, it's important tonight. We find out after this if the rest of the games are as important in terms of qualification, but for the league and for the future, then I'm really excited that we've managed to get Ben Davies in just from the sort of early looking that we got him.
And it's something that we needed, JD, a settled back 4, back 5.
I still feel sorry for Leon King. If Davies comes in, does well, and he has done well, and he's solid in there, where does King go? And I'm talking next season, the season after, because Goldson signed a new deal. Davies is on a 4-year. Where does Leon go? Because his pathway is now stopped. Because you're thinking Leon's going to play next season. Well, he's not going to play. If we play 4 at the back, Leon King's not going to play. So what happens with Leon? Now I know we're not talking about that, but Davies and Goldson have been brilliant. But that's my wee worry about that. But what do? You're there. We're here to live the moment and win games, so we can't be sentimental. I know, and I'm the worst for that. But I would love to see Leon King play, but I just don't know where.
Well, if you
I wasn't
believe
what you asked me there, by the way, was it?
No, but it was a good answer. I liked it. And it's 25-8, and we're about to finish up shortly, or we would carry on that conversation. But maybe that's something for the Friday phone-in. But if you believe the reports, it could be Manchester United, Liverpool, or some Newcastle. Other teams abroad. Newcastle as well. Quite a few teams looking at him. JD, Alan McGregor. Do we owe Alan McGregor an apology?
Yeah, 100%. I wanted John McLaughlin. Fucking hell, I can't believe I'm saying this. I wanted John McLaughlin in.
So did I.
I went to the semi-final last year with Scotty, and the two of us were sitting orgasm in the air. John McLaughlin coming out and catching a few balls. Because in that moment, at that time of the season, you should have seen us, we were tapping, so I'm like, right? That's what we were doing in Hampden. And at that point of the season, we were chopping for somebody to do that. And that just totally just clouded my opinion. McGregor's looked good coming off his line this season. His shot stopping's some of the best in Europe, the UK. So, we do owe him an apology. I certainly do. And he's our number one. Until he makes an ass of something, I'll be wanting fucking Robbie McCrory in. But we need a goalkeeper next season. That's got to be number one for us, I think. But let's not worry about that. We've got McGregor.
Aye, and we've got McGregor, Stu, and he seems to be. And can I just say, David's right. If we've only got 35 likes on YouTube, that's shocking. Come on, folks, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and of course, we do offer extra members content. But we'll get onto that in the reaction. This is about the build-up. It's about the build-up.
How many subscribers do we have?
I nearly choked there. We have 6,500.
The Red Men TV, 1 million.
Yeah, but that's EPL stuff for you. They're always going to have.
That's what you want to get to. Surely Rangers can have 1 million.
All right, let's get to 1 million by the end of the season. 1 million subscribers by the end of the season. I'm saying it now. Unfortunately, you just don't get 1 million subscribers for Scottish football. That's unfortunate. But yeah,
you sitting there with 1 million subscribers.
If I was sitting here with 1 million subscribers, I'd have a Rolex. I'd have an 80-inch telly behind me.
You'd be even more obnoxious than you already are.
I don't think I could be more obnoxious than I already am. Stu, your thoughts on Alan McGregor playing at the back? I think in recent weeks he's shown, and especially at Anfield, look, most of the saves you expect him to make, but he always makes that one crucial save as well.
Yeah, he does. I mean, I don't think we ever doubted his quality overall. It's just, what's he, 40, 41 now? It's getting to that time where, and it's not his fault. We should have gone out and got a number one, in all honesty. And I'd like JD. I thought John McLaughlin was the answer, mainly because I was sort of part of the new age movement of, we can play with his feet though. We can build up from the back. That's what we got for John McLaughlin, and he can't. He passed it straight to Turnbull, and we lost the goal. But every keeper could do that. John McLaughlin's still a good keeper, but I think he's a good number two keeper. I don't think he's a number one at a top club. Maybe he's a number one somewhere else, but not at a top club. But McGregor's come in and just sometimes he does that, and he shows that he's just as good as he's ever been, because that Liverpool game was just as good as it's ever been. Especially that one, he sort of tips over the bar. I think it was from Yotta, I think, and he just reactionary puts that hand out and he just tips it over the bar, and it was an unbelievable save. He's always been a world class shot stopper. We worry a little bit about him coming and claiming crosses, and any sort of ball in the box. He sort of, one of his weaknesses is sort of his jump or his willingness to come and take a ball out of the air. But even his, a bit like Sakala, even he's improved. I was watching him the other day, the St Mirren game, and he was knocking first-time passes out to Barisic, who had a man close. Usually, if someone's got a man close, McGregor's punting that ball straight up the pitch. But yeah, I don't know if the whole team have been working on it a bit extra, but he looked absolutely fine to me. And for me, yeah, number one for the rest of the season without a shadow of a doubt.
Stu, maybe they were doing a lot of passing drills at pre-season, not a lot of running. That's why they look terrible.
That's why we're so unfit, but we can pass. Yeah.
Right, JD, prediction.
That's why I don't do pre-match. I don't like doing I told you this.
I tell you what, no prediction.
One each. I said one each Colak. I said one each my Super Six, so I say one each.
How do we go about getting that one each, JD? What do we need to do?
We need to go out. We go for it. I don't want any hesitation to see what they're about today. Take a centre circle and we just go for them. What we've done with Leipzig and Dortmund and stuff like that. And then if after 5 minutes it's catching us out, then maybe we go back to a bit more defensive and rolling there and get my bellies tickled. That's my saying of the week, if you've not noticed. But I am saying one. I think one each Colak. Go for it.
Can I just say, Paul Thompson, Martin is famous top presenter. I'm only famous in my family. That's it. I'm the only celebrity in my family. So there you go.
But you're the best presenter. Everybody knows that in the comments. That's why you should be doing it more.
Don't talk nonsense. Absolute.
Well, he doesn't like compliments either, Mel, does he?
You're not even the most famous sibling in your family, are you,
No,
Mark?
I'm not. I'm definitely not. My wee brother plays for the team that JD supports.
Yeah.
So,
Anyway, hey, listen, we Alex will be after you, Stu. I heard you dissed Ross County earlier on. We Alex is not going to be happy
Oh,
with that.
yeah.
What are you on about, Ken?
I know. I think Yen Dang's after something. Stu's a good presenter. I didn't know we had liars in the comments now, JD.
Well, I was saying it's brilliant. No, a lot of my little niece is only 1 year old, and my brother has the. Well, she's only 6 months old. My brother plays that white noise. What he started doing is putting Stu's presenting on.
Right, Stu, how do we go about getting a result, and what's your prediction?
I think someone, I want to say it was Michael in the chat. I think he got it spot on. I think it's controlled aggression. We have to just go out there and we have to play our game at times. We have to obviously accept that we're going to have to play Liverpool's game at times as well. But yeah, I don't know. It's so tough. You just don't know how it's going to go because of how it's all about the start, I think. And if we start with confidence, here they come. Wasn't long. The amount of bold grief I'll get on here with JD sitting opposite me is crazy. I'll take the Aramoy one, by the way. I don't mind because I think that's good. That's a good shout. But no, I think it's 2-1 Rangers for me. I don't really think that, but that's what I'm hoping for, and that's what I'm going for. So I'm going to go 2-1 Rangers, and we're going to go out and be aggressive, and not take any shit off Liverpool, and hopefully to get the result.
Yeah, and what CGM's 100% is presenting, not the easy bit. Just ask the questions.
No,
absolutely
not. Everybody hates doing it.
Presenting's easy, but yeah. So thank you to everybody for watching. Please do like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Join us at halftime, just shortly after the halftime whistle. Are you both on at halftime?
Yep.
Are you on at halftime?
Again,
JD?
I didn't put my name forward for it like this one, but I'm doing it. That's just what I gave for the rabble, isn't it, Martin?
That's what you just go that extra mile, JD, all the time. Yeah, all the time. Yeah, so thank you everybody for watching. If you're on Facebook as well, because we're back on Facebook, thank you for tuning in. Give us all the likes and subscribes, etc., etc., etc. I'll let you all go and get ready for the game. And thank you, JD. Thank you, Stu. Apologies for putting you all through this music again one more time, but we'll see you all at halftime. Thank you for tuning in. See you soon.